Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be taking a closer look at 8 potential Kalidou Koulibaly alternatives, and this one's a very special video. Before I get on to the reason why it's a special video, I want to say thank you to my latest patron, Lewis Zagny. Lewis has joined up, and he's going to get exclusive bonus content like this one on screen right now there. Lewis, thank you so much for becoming my latest patron. I really appreciate it. Patreon.com/Esteemed Company if you want to get involved. And also, thank you to this guy down the corner here, Kalidou. Kalidou is one of my highest tier patrons. You get a video of his request once a month. So you want to do that as well, or help support this channel a little bit. Patreon.com/Esteemed Company is where you can get involved. Khalid, thank you very much for the question. Khalid was basically wondering how Manchester City could look to move in the transfer market if we don't sign Kalidou Koulibaly, which prompted this video. So hopefully this will answer your question, Khalid, and everyone else wondering down in the comments, because we've got 8 alternatives to run through. And we're going to start initially with Diego Carlos. We have to start Diego Carlos because he's the one who's probably the most strongest linked after the Koulibaly transfer rumours. Now, basically, Diego Carlos has had quite a nomadic career so far. Of course, he's just won the Europa League with Sevilla, the Sevilla Cup as most people like to call it, and he was obviously very delighted by that. He had a very interesting end to that campaign, though, giving away a penalty in the quarters, the semi-finals, and the final, which is obviously a bit of an outlier. Largely, he can't be that erratic if he's had the season that he's had at Sevilla. But his career has been pretty nomadic. He only started playing in Europe in 2015 at Esteemed over in Portugal. 1 season later, he got a transfer to Nantes in the French League. Spent 3 years there before moving to Sevilla this season, where he's had a very impressive season. A genuinely all-action kind of player. He's 27 years old now, so he's not, I wouldn't say he's a spring chicken, put it that way, but he's definitely not old either. And he has impressed in La Liga. He's basically known for his very aggressive style of play. He's also very good at passing with the ball, which is obviously a prerequisite for any potential Manchester City transfer. And to be honest, what I really like about him, the one thing that stands out for me, he's 6'1" and he's tall and he's pretty strong, but it's that recovery pace. I know he gave away the penalty against Adama Traore, but that pace to keep up with in the first place is absolutely very impressive. Some people have said he looks a little bit like Otamendi with pace. To be honest, I would take a 27-year-old Otamendi with pace right now. I honestly would. I mean, Otamendi did have some good seasons in him. He was fantastic in the 17-18 season. And a younger Otamendi with pace, well, why not? Why not? Why not learn from that? Because Otamendi isn't quite as bad as people make out. He's just, now as he's got old and he's got even less pace than he had, he's more prone and going to his arse. So maybe, just maybe, it's an alternative to Koulibaly. I like him. He's not perfect, but I like him nonetheless. Next one on the list is Dayot Upamecano, a guy that absolutely everyone wants. He was so impressive in RB Leipzig's Champions League run. And also he's been an active member of their squad now for a while. So he's basically been impressive in Europe and been impressive for RB Leipzig. And he had a release clause of 60 million euros this summer, but no takers, which is, it does make you wonder why, actually. He's been that impressive and you think, well, why has no one gone for him for 60 million euros given his, I think it's been obvious that he's going to be a star for some time now. I mean, he was turning heads back at Salzburg in the Australian Bundesliga before getting that transfer to RB Leipzig, where he's been playing for like 4 seasons now, despite only being 21 years old. He's that's ridiculous. That's genuinely quite ridiculous. He was first playing in the Australian First League in 2015, the 2015-16 season, and he played 16 appearances that season. I mean, that was 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, so he must have been 16, 17 playing that. So that shows, obviously, he's a very quick learner, and he's obviously been on this route to the top from a very young age. What most people like about Upamecano is that incredible ball retention, and the way he drives through midfield. He's almost like suicidal, how he presses so high up the pitch, which makes him a very fun player to watch as a defender. I know that shouldn't really matter, but it does kind of matter. And also that pace and that aggressiveness, and the fact that he's so confident on the ball. This is a great stat. Nobody in Leipzig's active squad with a minimum of 1,000 minute plays, with a minimum of 1,000 minute played, has averaged more touches per 90 than him. So basically, he has more touches than anyone out of the regulars in Leipzig's active squad, which is very impressive. Basically, he's a very highly talented young player. I would be all over him like a rash if I had Manchester City's transfer budget. For whatever reason, that's not happened, but he's a definite alternative. Maybe it was someone going for a year or two from now, because apparently from next summer, he has a 42 million release clause after signing a new contract, but a fantastic player. Next on the list is Milan Skriniar, the 25-year-old Slovakian defender. We've been linked to him for some time now. I remember the first links back in 2017. Very much a Guardiola kind of player in terms of he's very comfortable on the ball and all that kind of stuff. But he has had a relatively indifferent season according to reports over in Serie A. Now, I'm not saying he's been bad by any stretch of the imagination, but there has been a few times this season, and once again, according to what I've read online, where he's been caught out by a lack of pace, which is one of my major concerns about Skriniar. Clearly a very good player, but also clearly not the fastest. And I do want someone with a little bit of pace. That's just my personal preference. But what I will say, he's obviously very comfortable out stepping into midfield. He's known for stepping into midfield quite a bit. He has played as holding midfielder as well against England for Slovakia. And he does have a little bit of a leadership kind of style to his game. He reminds me a little bit of Laporte, I would say, stylistically. That same tall, elegant, kind of graceful defender. A little bit of aggression to his game. But I would say he's not quite as fast as Laporte. Having said that, he's still clearly a very good centre-back and one that I would not be against at all. But for whatever reason, it has gone a little bit quiet on that front. But don't be surprised if City go back in for him, because he's clearly a very good player. The next guy on the list is one that's very much blown into life recently. Jules Koundé. Is it Koundé? Koundé? Someone's going to correct me if I'm wrong. But he's basically burst on the scene alongside Diego Carlos, actually. Someone that a lot of people prefer instead of Diego Carlos. He signed from Bordeaux for a 22 million deal last summer after impressing in the French league. And he's basically taken that form into La Liga. Apparently Zidane's been hunting around him. He wants him because he's known for his speed and his positioning. He's also been compared, after doing a little bit of research online, to Thomas van Marlen. Now, I know you might be thinking, what, injured all the time? But at one point, van Marlen was seen as a very intelligent defender, someone who covered the ground very swiftly. He was good at distributing the ball, and was also pretty aggressive in his style. What I've seen of Kounde is not loads, if I'm being honest, but I do really, really like his very Rolls-Royce-esque approach to the game. He's very elegant, and he was fantastic in Sevilla's successful campaign in the Europa League. Obviously, it looks like he's the one that sweeps up and does all the calm passing. Has a bit of pace as well, but he isn't the most aggressive in the air. He's only 5'11", which for a centre-back isn't the tallest, if I'm being honest. He does have pace to counter that and a very good technical ability on the ball, but I would personally like someone a little bit taller. He is only 21, and playing in La Liga compared to playing in the Premier League is a very different kettle of fish entirely. What does that even mean, kettle of fish? What a weird saying. It's strange, isn't it? But either way, Diego Carlos and Kounde have been a very good partnership together, and he's one that a lot of people are loving at the moment. He loves the diagonal as well, and I love a player who loves the diagonal. So Kounde is a very good alternative. A little bit on the short side maybe, but a Rolls Royce of a defender. Next on the list is Çağlar Söyüncü. He's been very good this season for Leicester. One of the main attributes he's got, the 24-year-old Turkish defender, is that, of course, he's been playing in the Premier League and proving himself this season. Now, largely, I would say his form maybe slightly dipped towards the end of the season when Leicester tailed off a little bit, but he was very impressive. Given the fact that they got 18 million for Harry Maguire, I would say he's probably been better this season than Harry Maguire has. I'm almost certain he definitely has. One thing I like about Söyüncü is he's deceptively fast. He genuinely has very good recovery speed. He's been very good alongside Johnny Evans. He's one of the best defenders in the league this season. And I like his aggressive, assertive style. He's very comfortable on the ball too, in terms of controlling the ball. I wouldn't say he's the most progressive in terms of passing it out from the back. Johnny Evans seems to be a little bit better at that role than he does. So that is a minor. I didn't say major and minor at the same time. That is a minor concern of Söyüncü. Clearly, it also cost an awful lot. There's that Premier League player tax. So if he was going to be sold by Leicester, they'd want 70-odd million for him. They got 80 million for Maguire, and they'd turn around and go, well, this guy's just as good. Maybe our defence is better right now, and we want our money. We want our money big time. Söyüncü is good. I really like the fact that he looks like Lord Farquaad as well, so that's a good enough reason to sign him, in my personal opinion. Next on the list is Pau Torres, the big 6'3", chiseled jawline Villarreal centre-back. He's had a very good season for Villarreal, a bit of I wouldn't say a breakout season, but he's definitely pushing towards that Spain squad now, and he wants to add to his one cap, which he got during this season. Pau Torres is a very intelligent left-footed centre-back. That is one of the kind of negatives, though, about Pau Torres. He is a left-sided centre-back, and given that we got Nathan Ake and Laporte, I can't really see City pursuing that option. Now, I really believe two of any foot can play alongside each other, but I do believe that Guardiola likes that balance. He wants someone who's on the left who can play it to the left, someone on the right who can play it to the right. It's a big part of what Guardiola wants from his centre-backs, so that does go against him. However, he's been playing at a good level in the Liga. He's known for being very, very good on the ball, very good in terms of reading of the game as well, a very intelligent centre-back who has loads of room for improvement. He's only pretty young still as well. And largely, he's had a very good season at Villarreal, so he could be an outside chance. I think, however, unfortunately, the fact that he's not known really for his pace, he isn't the fastest, I would say, and also the fact he's left-footed could rule him out, but he's an option. Could be too similar to Laporte though, maybe. Next up is a name that City have been linked to for some time as well. Now, Rúben Dias. I really like Rúben Dias. He's very impressive. He's very impressive in more or less every aspect of the game. He's pretty big, you know. I think he's like 6'2" or something like that. He's pretty strong. He can pass the ball. He has good leadership skills. I really like his vocal style. I watched him quite a bit for Portugal during Bernardo's excellent run. And he really impressed me with how physical he was. I like a good physical centre-back. And he's also used to being surrounded by quality in Cristiano, you know, Bernardo. They won the UEFA Nations League. Also Bruno Fernandes there. A good Portugal team, and he fitted perfectly into that team and was impressive. The one obviously negative against Rúben Dias is he's playing for Benfica. With all due respect to the Portuguese league, I've been burned bad time by Mangala. So I want someone who's played at a slightly higher level. But what I would say is that I would be very happy with City taking a punt on Rúben Dias. He fits what we need perfectly. He's very good at those diagonals as well, and he really kind of suits playing out to those teams that have like touchline hugging wingers, which Manchester City do. We do have very wide players. We like to stretch the pitch, and Rúben Dias would be very comfortable in this. I really like the fact as well that he's very vocal. He's very demanding in his leadership style. I love a good aggressive centre half. I can't imagine he'd command a ridiculously high fee, given the fact that he's pretty young, he's at Benfica, and he would be a good option. Rúben Dias seems to have everything to his game, and I think he's just waiting now for that big move away from Benfica to one of Europe's leading clubs. Benfica, of course, aren't a small club by any stretch of the imagination, but it would be a little bit of a stretch to say they're one of the leading clubs at the moment. I really like Rúben Dias. He's one of the ones that, for me, is kind of slightly under the radar, but would be a very, very good alternative to Koulibaly. And finally, and definitely not at least, another partner from another centre-back partnership in this list. Ibrahima Konaté has been absolutely fantastic for RB Leipzig as well. A name that every time I tweet about Koulibaly or Upamecano, someone replies saying, well, what about Konate? I prefer him. Largely, Konate is an absolute beast. He's just, there's no other way of describing that. He's 6'4". He's absolutely huge. He's absolutely physical as well. Very aggressive. And what I love about him, he has that same Vinny mentality of being the first to the challenge and just absolutely owning his centre forward. I love aggressive centre-backs, especially the ones who've got the physical ability to push people off the ball. Can we not just sign Upamecano and Konate, get them both in together and let them be absolutely excellent? He's only very young as well, literally just turned 21 in May, and he's been very impressive for RB Leipzig. Basically, what he does really well is winning the ball first time around, or basically reacting very quickly to the second ball. He's very, very, very alert. That physicality just drives him in good stead. He's very good at driving forward as well. Like Upamecano, he can do that. He can push through midfield and push forward. RB Leipzig had that really interesting game where the whole team presses intensely and very, very high. And both Upamecano and Konate have excelled in that situation. In that formation, and they're very good at it. I would like Konate a lot. He's also good at the ball. He's good on the ball. I wouldn't say he's quite as comfortable as some players are on this list with the ball, but what I could say from him, he's totally at home in that system where he has to move the ball quickly and aggressively, and he would fit perfectly. There are some question marks. I've done a bit of research about his focus every now and then. Lewandowski allegedly has given him some difficult times with his movement, but once again, there's no shame in that. Lewandowski is a very high quality player, but this guy would be once again another player that I would be very happy to see at Manchester City. He fits the age profile very well. He's aggressive, he's big, he's tall, he can pass, he can press. City, go for it. Anyway, guys, there are 8 names on this list. Thank you to all these guys scrolling down the side, by the way. These are my patrons. Patreon.com/Esteemed Company if you want to get involved and help to support this channel loads. But those are 8 names. Let me know down in the comments who you want to see at Manchester City if it's not Koulibaly, because there's some very good names there. I'm sure there's some I've missed off the list as well that you're going to correct me down in the comments below. But thank you for watching this video. Khalid, thank you very much once again for the suggestion for the topic. Absolute hero. Love you all loads. Go and follow me on twitch.tv/Esteemed Company as well for some video game goodness. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Give this video a like, and I'll see you very soon.